Hello, my friends. Today I'm going to be explaining to you what you and your team are going to be doing today and tomorrow. You're going to be doing a really fun activity where you will be practicing all the science process skills that have been introduced to you. So, your activity today and tomorrow will be involving something called coffee filters. These are what coffee filters are. You've maybe seen them before, maybe this is your first time, but regardless, these are going to be some of the tools you use with today's activity. Now, what you're going to be doing with your team is you're going to be trying to find a ratio or a comparison or a pattern that you can apply so you and your team can work hard to try and make it so that your coffee filters hit the table at the same time. Now that seems easy enough. After all, if you have a coffee filter and a coffee filter, if you drop them from the same height, they should hit it about the same time, which they didn't do there. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's because there were actually two here. How unusual. It's true. Two coffee filters will hit before the single. So this is what your challenge is you are going to have a single coffee filter and a pile that has two, and you are going to figure out how you can make it so that they hit at about the same time. Okay, so for today's activity, you are going to need a yardstick, 3 coffee filters, and a worksheet that I'll show you in just a little while. Now, you will be working as a team, which is very important here because you're going to need somebody to be the yardstick holder. You're going to see that you're going to want to have it sitting straight on the table here. You're going to have somebody who is the coffee filter dropper. I would suggest the same person drops the single coffee filter and the double. If you have different people doing it, it's really hard to drop them at the same time, which makes the activity very difficult to be successful at. And then if you have a third person and even a fourth, you're going to want to have somebody who can go way down here and look at the table flat so you can see which coffee filter hits first. And for the sake of my demonstration here, I'm all alone. I don't have any partners who are going to help me. So I have to get creative. You might be able to tell that I had to put the yardstick between the two tables. You aren't going to want to do this. If you do, it doesn't start at 0 down here. Mine is at 1.5 inches, and that will mess up the data that you're going to be collecting. So the data that you'll be collecting is, we're going to choose different heights on our ruler. And we're going to put the single at one height, the double at another height. We're going to drop them, and we're going to record which one hits the table first. You're actually going to repeat this many times. Once again, when I show you the worksheet you'll be filling in, you'll see what I mean. But you're going to repeat this several times until you start to see a pattern of when does my single filter and my double hit at the same time. When you can find that pattern, you are going to test that pattern several times. You're going to test it from different heights. So your pattern might be something like the double has to be 2 times as high as the single. Or the double has to be 1/4, or I guess 4 times as high as the single. Or the double needs to be 3 times as high as the single. You can see what I mean when I say looking for a pattern. And you're going to test it numerous times until you can prove that anytime you put your double a certain height above the single one and they hit at the same time, when you can prove that, you have found your solution. And you will have the teacher come and check it off. You will prove to them that you've got it figured out. Okay? So here's what I mean by this. Let's pretend I want to test that the double is 4 times as high as the single filter. So as a team, we're going to say, okay, let's put our single at 6 inches. Now, when you put it at 6 inches, you want to line the flat bottom part of your filter at the 6 inches, not the top. The bottom is at 6 inches. Oh dear. And then you say, okay, we're going to try the pattern that the double is going to be 4 times as high as the single. So if the single is at 6 inches, 4 times 6 is 24, so I'm going to put this at 24. And then whoever your dropper is going to go 1, 2, 3, drop. And then you would record on your sheet which one hit first. All right? So that's what you'll be testing many times, different heights. Let's say I want to try 2 times as high. Let's pretend that is the pattern we want to try out. So somebody is going to drop, you'll put it, let's say, at 15 inches. And then you might say, what is 15 times 2? Because we want to check the pattern 2 times as high for the double. So 15 times 2 is 30. You'd line the bottom up. Your other person would be down here checking to see which one hits first. And then you would drop it and see and record what happens. You are going to do lots of tests. On your paper, you're going to see that you have to do at least 10 tests. And once you find a pattern, you're going to write down and test your pattern like 6 more times. And you are going to be doing a lot of dropping with your team.